All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're skipping past the exhausting, culturally accepted status traps that keep so many people running on a treadmill. And we're going to dig into the brutal math behind building actual, quiet financial freedom. If you've ever felt like the numbers just aren't adding up lately, you are absolutely in the right place. So think about it for a second. You've followed all the rules, right? You got the degree, you chased the promotion, you financed the reliable car, and you bought the house because, well, everyone told you that renting was throwing money away. So why does your bank account constantly feel like it's gasping for air at the end of the month? Why does it feel like we're all working harder every single year just to tread water? I want to assure you right off the bat, it's not a personal failing. 44%, a staggering 44% of six-figure earners are living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. Nearly half of the people making over $100,000 a year have literally zero margin in their lives. And this happens because the target for what's considered a normal life has quietly, deliberately shifted. Okay, let's dive into this. The modern financial system is not designed to help you build wealth. Actually, it's a meticulously engineered wealth extraction machine. That 84-month car loan, the minimum payment on your credit card, that subscription that auto-renews because it's deliberately annoying to cancel, these aren't conveniences, they're highly calibrated business models designed to extract your money in amounts small enough to not trigger an alarm, but large enough to matter enormously over your lifetime. Section 1. The illusion of normal versus the quiet path. Let's contrast two totally different financial playbooks to see where the money is actually going. Let's look at Nina and Ian. They're the exact same age, pulling in the exact same salary. Now, from the outside, Nina looks like she's absolutely crushing it. She has the house, she drives a brand new car with a panoramic sunroof for $687 a month, and she saves the culturally approved 10%. But Ian? He takes a contrarian approach. He bought a $14,000 used car in cash, he rents his apartment, and because his fixed costs are so low, he saves 35% of his income in boring index funds. His friends probably think he's a little weird, but watch what happens. The crucial point here is the brutal math. Over 30 years, Nana's path leads to a net worth of under $1 million, and honestly, mostly tied up in home equity she can't easily spend, and she's going to work until she's 66. But Ian's quiet path? He retires at 51. That's a full 15 years earlier with over $3 million and a portfolio generating massive passive income. Same salary, same city. The huge gap between them is pure behavioral choices. Section 2. The brutal math of status. Let's unveil the hidden costs of those culturally accepted milestones, starting with the vehicle currently parked in your driveway. Over $1.5 million. This shocking number is what an average $700 monthly car payment would turn into if, instead of paying the dealership, you invested it in an S&P 500 index fund over 30 years. When people finance cars every 7 years, rolling negative equity into the next loan, they are missing out on over $1.5 million of compounding wealth. It's crazy. As this quote from our source material perfectly captures, when you finance a depreciating asset, you aren't just buying a car. You are trading away a multi-million-dollar opportunity cost. You're basically paying a premium to look successful on the highway, while quietly sabotaging your future freedom. And this brings us to the ultimate American myth, buying a house. We are constantly told renting is throwing money away. But the brutal truth? After inflation, homes historically only appreciate at about 1%. Meanwhile, the stock market returns roughly 7%. When you factor in property taxes, insurance, and the endless hidden costs of keeping up a house, renting often allows you to aggressively invest the difference and come out massively ahead. Renting isn't a failure. In a lot of markets, it is a strategic, mathematical advantage. Section 3. The corporate promotion trap. Let's move over to the workplace and see how climbing the ladder is just another elegantly disguised wealth trap. Meet Blake and Jordan. Blake accepted every single promotion they threw at him. He's a VP making $145,000, but he works 55 hours a week, he's answering Slack messages at 8 p.m., and he's incredibly stressed. It's the classic golden handcuffs. Jordan, on the other hand, said no to the promotion. She makes $98,000, firmly logs off at 40 hours, and she used her extra time to build a consulting side hustle that brings in an extra $2,400 a month. When you divide their salaries by the actual hours worked, the math is, well, it's horrifying. Blake's massive promotion, with all those unpaid exempt salary overtime hours, only gave him an effective hourly raise of $2.18 over Jordan. Think about that. $2 an hour. He gave them his life, they gave him a fancy title and pocket change.
This quote right here brilliantly illustrates the reality of the corporate climb. The promotion system wasn't designed to make you wealthy, it was designed to make the company productive. Corporate promotions often just buy a really steep discount on a huge amount of your free time on behalf of the shareholders.
If Jordan takes those 15 extra hours a week that Blake works for free, builds a moderate $2,000 a month side income, and invests it, over 20 years, she creates nearly $1.4 million in wealth. Blake's 15 hours of unpaid overtime gets him zero equity, zero compounding, and a whole lot of burnout. Jordan isn't making less than Blake. She is building exponentially more.
Section 4, Unsexy Paths to Wealth and Engineering Margin. So, if the normal path of financing cars, draining your savings into a house, and working 60 hours for a promotion is completely broken, how do we actually build wealth? Well, the answer is incredibly boring.
It all comes down to building boring systems. Jude and Mary have the same salary but completely different lives. Jude relies entirely on one income stream, his job, which is taxed at the absolute highest rate. Mary, though, she set up unsexy, passive systems. She added over $1,200 a month to her life by leveraging assets she already had, while Jude stayed stuck in the one-income trap, watching his paycheck evaporate.
What's really interesting here is that none of these require a second full-time job. Seriously. Mary moved her cash to a high-yield savings account. She automated investments into dividend index funds, she rented out her empty driveway to a hospital worker for $200 a month, and listed her empty garage space for storage. These are low-effort, highly scalable tasks that literally just run whether you're paying attention to them or not.
Okay, let's make this actionable with 3 simple steps you can literally take today. First, move your money out of that traditional bank paying you 0% and into a high-yield savings account. Second, list your unused parking spot or storage space online. Third, open a Roth IRA, buy a broad index fund, and automate a monthly transfer. Stop performing wealth for your neighbors and start quietly building it for yourself.
The ultimate goal of all of this isn't to afford a nicer car, a bigger house, or a fancier corporate title. No, it is about engineering margin. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. It is the only thing that turns into true financial freedom, allowing you to finally buy back your time.
Think back to the driveways of Nenahananian. Every single dollar you owe to a lender is a dollar voting for the life you already have, a life of stress and endless payments. But every dollar you save and invest, that's a dollar voting for the life you haven't lived yet. Taking that first step toward quiet wealth starts right now. So please subscribe to the channel, like this explainer, and hit the bell icon to make sure you keep learning how to beat the system and engineer your own freedom. I'll leave you with this final thought. The system makes money when you stay on the treadmill, but you only build wealth when you quietly step off. So, which future are you funding today?